I'm not depressed. I just can't sleep, have trouble concentrating, and nothing tastes good. I was uninvited from my niece's birthday party because I tried to plan the entire thing. You mean I'm not fixed yet? Is it okay if I eat in here? And I'm watching endless reruns of Forensic Files. See you next week! I knew we were meant for each other. You know, it's one of those things where your soul just calls to the other person. I did all my homework last week. The gratitude sheets. I love my therapist. She is seriously like my new BFF. I read Judith Beck's cognitive behavioral therapy book last night, and I just don't think it's an effective form of therapy. In this video, we're gonna be exploring all 9 types going to therapy. If you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Abby, and I'm here to help you discover you. For more videos like this about the Enneagram and personality types, make sure you're subscribed to this channel for new videos every Thursday. I've always been a huge advocate for therapy on this channel, so I feel like I would be failing myself if I didn't up top say that therapy, like the Enneagram, is an incredible, helpful tool for discovering more about yourself and for dealing with things like anxiety and depression. I've linked some online therapy options and other resources in the description down below if that's something you're interested in taking the next step in. So without further ado, let's explore the 9 Enneagram types seeing a therapist. We're starting with Enneagram Type 9, the Peacemaker. As we all know, Type 9s can self-forget. This means that they prioritize merging with others and keeping the peace over their own needs and desires. And more than that, they are literally forgetting what they want and what they need because it is pushed so far down that they seem like really agreeable people who will go along with whatever, but really they are suppressing their desires and like kind of living in this space of forgetfulness. This can lead to passive-aggressive behavior, detachment, and extreme conflict avoidance. In therapy, I bet average to unhealthy 9s are struggling with voicing what they're thinking and feeling. So how are you feeling this week? Gosh, that's a really hard question. Can you ask me an easier question? How about you take a look at this feelings wheel and then label any feelings you've been having? Maybe lonely or stressed, tired for sure, bored. Honestly, maybe all of these or none of them. I don't know. Sometimes uncontrollable emotions can be a sign of depression. Oh, I'm not depressed. I just can't sleep, have trouble concentrating, and nothing tastes good. Yeah, we're gonna need bi-weekly sessions. Let's chat about Enneagram Type 8, the Protector. Type 8s have a real hard time opening up and being vulnerable. This comes from their core fear of being betrayed or overpowered. They really don't want to give up control and allow other people to help them. I bet it can be really difficult for out-of-alignment Type 8s to embrace the vulnerability that kind of needs to happen in the therapy space. Brené Brown says in her books that vulnerability is a tool that helps people experience a wide range of emotions and to authentically connect with other people. So I can see how some Type 8s who struggle with vulnerability might try to control a therapy session and manipulate it so that they are in charge and they don't feel that overwhelming, you know, gooey feeling of being vulnerable in front of somebody else. Let's just cut to the chase. I was uninvited from my niece's birthday party because I tried to plan the entire thing. But look, she's gonna look back on her My Little Pony birthday theme and be completely mortified. But then I remembered, yoo-hoo, healthy boundaries, therapy. So then I apologized to my sister and my niece. I did some meditation and journaling, and I wrote out some healthy boundaries to enforce with my family. Oh, look at that, time's up. I better go or I'll be late for spin. I'll see you next week. Why am I even here? Enneagram 7s, the optimist, crave adventure and stimulation. If I had to sum up their inner struggle, it would be the grass is always greener on the other side. Once you've experienced something, a little bit of the magic goes away. So Type 7s are always looking for the next best thing. Now, I'm obviously not talking about all Enneagram 7s. Mostly, I'm referencing out-of-alignment 7s who may find themselves on a really stressed path. In therapy, they could become a bit scattered, hoping that their problems will be fixed immediately, and then becoming really bored and feeling very irritated because, you know, they realize that therapy is a process and it takes patience and not everything is going to be perfect once they go to a therapy session. I'm not really sure what I was afraid of when I was a kid. Honestly, I'm kind of distracted because this couch is really lumpy. Oh, we could move if you really need to. Let's switch spots. I've always wanted to sit in your chair. Sure, whatever works for you. Much better. Except, not the lights in my eyes. It's kind of glary. Well, you know, because you sit here all the time. Our session is almost up, so let's find a time for next week. Next week? You mean I'm not fixed yet? I don't look at therapy as fixing, but more of a tool that you can utilize to— Yeah, but look, I've got things to do, people to see. I can't keep coming here week after week after week. I mean, the monotony. We do recommend at least 6 sessions for you to experience any progress. Okay, well, how about this? Therapy aerobics. We do a bunch of fun dance workouts while we therapize. What do you say? Let's chat about Enneagram Type 6, the loyalist. A 6's core weakness is anxiety. They worriedly look ahead to the horizon, prepping for worst case scenarios, and their mind is never really at rest. I personally struggle with anxiety and have done so since I was a child, so that is actually what got me into therapy in the first place. In college, it just became so overwhelming. I needed professional help, and therapists are really helpful with that. But let me tell you, as somebody with anxiety, it is exhausting to feel like there are worst case scenarios just around every single corner. I mean, no wonder Type 6s struggle with anxiety. It sucks. Out of alignment 6s can also struggle with trusting other people. In therapy, you could find them being suspicious about the process or their therapist, or just trying to cover up their trauma with humor. Thank you so much for coming in today. You know, going to therapy can be an incredible first step. Yeah, look, I know that you have your bio on the website, but can I have a printout of your credentials? Because so many people say they have a doctorate, but they actually just have some sham of an online certification. I can definitely email you my credentials after our session. Now, it says here that you've just been through a breakup. Is that correct? I think I've found the key to happiness. Don't date jerks. Am I right? And you dated for 4 years? I guess that's how long it takes me to realize that my knight in shining armor is just a bro wrapped in tinfoil. Sometimes people use humor to deflect from feelings of— Is it okay if I eat in here? I always bring snacks wherever I go. You gotta be prepared. For what? I don't know. That's why I gotta be prepared. Enneagram 5s, the investigator, often feel like the world is sucking the energy from them, like a very powerful vacuum, just like attached to their arm and just depleting them of energy. Their greatest fear is being incompetent, so they hoard their inner resources and their true selves in order to survive. This also means that Type 5s minimize their needs because they really don't want to be a burden to anyone. In therapy, this could look like a Type 5 having trouble expressing their needs and their thoughts because they don't want to give away too much. They only have a certain amount of limited resources throughout the day, and what if they give it to the therapist and they have nothing left? They also might be the type of therapy client who waits until the last possible moment to tell their therapist the important information that they're actually there in therapy for. All right, so I will see you next Thursday at 6. Sounds great, thank you. You're so welcome. I just validate my parking in the lobby, right? Yep, that's correct. Cool, and just so you know, I lost my job, I'm feeling super hopeless, and I'm watching endless reruns of Forensic Files. See you next week! Time for Type 4, the individualist. Enneagram coach Beth McCord, who actually taught me the Enneagram, says something about Type 4s that I think really explains them well, and it is this: Type 4s don't have feelings, they are their feelings. Basically, this means that Type 4s are ruled by their hearts. Their emotions give them the ability to empathize with and help other people, but on the other hand, their emotions also make them susceptible to being tossed from one mood to the next like a rag doll. I just thought of a great business idea for Type 4s. Mood rings. Someone do it. Someone make an Etsy shop. I will buy one. I'm not a 4, but I'm gonna buy one. But anyway, in therapy, Type 4s can find themselves becoming emotionally intense as they explore their inner selves with a therapist. I saw him from across the cereal aisle and he was holding Apple Jacks. Apple Jacks, they're my favorite cereal from childhood, and I knew we were meant for each other. You know, it's one of those things where your soul just calls to the other person. Did you talk to him? Well, I figured he was feeling what I was feeling, so I was waiting for him to come up and talk to me. But then I looked at my phone for like 1 second, and when I looked up, he was gone. So I was running around the Vons just searching for him, but I could not find him, and I just thought to myself, there goes my last chance at love. You know, when people have a really big heart, like you do, they can find love in lots of places. That doesn't mean that you lost the love of your life. He was holding Apple Jacks! Enneagram Type 3s, the achiever, can fall into the trap of believing that the harder they work, the more people will love them. So if they suppress their emotions and feelings in the name of productivity, that means that in the long run, more people will love and admire them. As an Enneagram 3, I have found myself in therapy sessions realizing that I have buried years of emotions in the name of achievement and success, and let me tell you, from one gal to another, it's not the healthiest place to be. I did all my homework last week. The gratitude sheets, I meditated every day for 15 minutes, and I even called my mom to tell her about the new boundaries we discussed. That's great, Abby. Is it better than your other clients? You know I can't talk about my other clients. Patient confidentiality is extremely important. Blink twice if I want therapy. I knew it. I knew I won. I knew I was your best client. I am amazing at therapy. Okay, type 2s, it's your turn. Known as the helper or the advisor, type 2s can get stuck in the belief that relationships are strictly quid pro quo. So if they give you an act of service, they expect to receive that back in full. A 2's core desire is to be wanted and loved. So they go after that desire by making themselves super charming and helpful and kind. In therapy, type 2s may struggle with feeling like everybody else has a problem and they are blameless. As you can imagine, this could make it quite difficult for any progress to be made. I'm gonna teach you a breathing technique that's gonna be so helpful to you when you're feeling anxious. Yeah, but thank you. You are seriously the best. You know, I tell everybody, I love my therapist. She is seriously like my new BFF. Wow, I'm flattered. Now, let's get back to the breathing technique. I almost forgot, I made you lemon bars. You mentioned them 2 months ago, so I looked at my grandma's old recipe and I made them especially for you. Here you go. Thank you, but I don't accept gifts. No need to thank me. Anything for the best therapist in the world. Next week, I'll bring you brownies. Let's talk about Enneagram Type 1, the perfectionist. Type 1s are rooted in their own morals and principles. They may have trouble accepting input from other people because they're so used to imposing their own rules and standards. So in therapy, I bet it can be difficult for a Type 1 to be vulnerable, open up, and let themselves, be given input by a therapist. Type 1s, what do you think? Do you experience this at all? So we're gonna try some CBT today. I read Judith Beck's cognitive behavioral therapy book last night, and I just don't think it's an effective form of therapy. You've been busy. I read every night. No, not that. Since our last session, you must have gone to school for 6 years and gotten your master's. I know it's hard to let someone else be in control, but I promise I'm here to help. Your picture is crooked. There, see, I can't concentrate when it's like that. I wanna know what your main type and wing is and what your experience with therapy has been. What's the best thing you ever learned? What's something you really struggle with? We wanna know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.